Have you ever realized someone's kindness had terrible motives? I'm 17 and have been battling acute leukemia for 8 months. The treatment center I go to has amazing staff who genuinely care about making young patients feel better during our worst days. They give us small gifts, play games with us, and try to keep our spirits up during long chemotherapy sessions. One particular nurse, David Collins, seemed especially attentive to me. He always made sure I had extra blankets, brought me my favorite snacks, and would sit and chat during my treatments when things got boring. For months, I thought he was just being exceptionally kind because he understood how scary this whole experience was for someone my age. Gradually, his comments started changing. Instead of asking how I was feeling or talking about school, he began complimenting my appearance in ways that made me uncomfortable. He told me I had beautiful eyes, that my skin looked radiant even during treatment, and once said he thought I'd look stunning in a red evening gown. He even brought me expensive makeup as a gift, which seemed completely inappropriate for a hospital setting. The touching started getting worse too. He'd find excuses to adjust my IV line, check my pulse more frequently than necessary, and position himself uncomfortably close when helping me to the bathroom during episodes of nausea. During my last session, while I was throwing up from the medication, he held my hair back but kept one hand resting on my shoulder blade in a way that felt completely wrong. My mother usually dropped me off and picked me up afterward because the treatments lasted several hours and she had to work. I'd gotten used to being alone with the medical staff, and I trusted them completely. I wanted to tell her something felt off, but I couldn't quite articulate what was happening, and part of me worried I was imagining things because David had been so nice to me. Yesterday, I finally asked my mom to stay during my entire appointment. I didn't explain why, but something in my voice must have concerned her because she immediately agreed. David's behavior changed completely when she was present. He maintained professional distance, spoke only about medical matters, and didn't make any of his usual personal comments about my appearance. About halfway through my treatment, my mother stepped out to use the restroom. Within minutes, David moved closer to my bedside and commented on how unusual it was that my mom had stayed today. He said he missed our private conversations and liked getting to know me better when we were alone. Then he actually sat on the edge of my hospital bed, which crossed every professional boundary imaginable. He reached over and brushed my hair away from my face, leaning in close like he was about to kiss me. I was frozen with fear and disgust, unable to process what was happening. Thank God my mother chose that exact moment to return with another nurse she'd been chatting with in the hallway. They both witnessed David in this completely inappropriate position, leaning over me while I looked terrified. The silence in that room was deafening. My mother immediately started yelling at him, demanding to know what he thought he was doing to a minor cancer patient. I grabbed her hand before she could physically attack him, but she was absolutely furious. The other nurse quickly pressed the emergency button, and within minutes, several supervisors and security personnel arrived. I refused to discuss details during the remainder of my treatment, but afterward, multiple staff members interviewed me about David's behavior over the past few months. My mother threatened to involve police and lawyers if the hospital didn't take immediate action. The head of oncology personally assured us that David had been suspended pending a full investigation and would never be allowed near pediatric patients again. They assigned me a new primary nurse, an experienced woman named Patricia, who promised to personally oversee all my future treatments. When Patricia isn't available, only female nurses she personally recommends will be caring for me. They also gave me a new stuffed animal to help me feel safer, which was sweet but couldn't erase how violated I felt. When we got home, my older sister Rebecca went into full protective mode. She alternated between lecturing me about recognizing inappropriate behavior and threatening to hunt David down herself. She was actually angry that our mother hadn't punched him when she had the chance, which made me laugh despite everything. My mom was slightly upset that I hadn't explained why I wanted her to stay, but she wasn't really mad at me. She keeps hugging me and telling me how proud she is that I trusted my instincts and asked for help when something felt wrong. The scariest part is realizing how this predator used my illness and vulnerability against me. He knew I was young, scared, and dependent on medical staff for comfort during the worst experience of my life. He manipulated my gratitude and trust to get close to me, and if my mother hadn't walked in when she did, I don't know how far he would have gone. I'm just grateful the hospital took it seriously, and that I'll never have to see David Collins again. No patient should ever have to worry about being safe from the people who are supposed to be healing them. She's also making sure someone will be with me for every single appointment from now on, because no child should ever have to face something like this alone.